Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yeah. Thanks, honey. I appreciate the intro. It's time to get this shit started. Hey, it's about damn time. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet, and it says no data. Why does it say no data? Why does it say no data? Is this still going? What the hell's happening here? It says no data. How can it be no data? It says it's going. And I see my face. Oh, it says excellent connection now. Okay, we're good. We're good. I'm getting nervous because this is, I think I may, hopefully, we'll see if I've solved this stupid problem. I guess I needed to update my graphics card driver, but we'll see. Anyway, it says excellent connections. I'm going to run with this. Let's go. So I'm really late. I know. And that's why I didn't do the countdown. Thank you, Somnambule Nation, for, putting that bug in my ear. Cause that was very, that was smart of you to just even let me know. If you want to, whoever's, what the fuck am I trying to say? Whoever is, sharing the stream, I'm just going to retweet you. I'm not even going to bother that even. I'm just going to go with what you guys have done, and I'm going to retweet because or repost, whatever the hell they call it on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Thanks to those of you who do that. I'm just going to, in fact, it's just you, Somnambule Nation. You're the king. So there you go. Wait, I don't even want to quote. Why am I quote tweeting you? I don't want to quote tweet you. All I want to do is retweet, repost. No, repost. My God, I don't spend as much time on X as I used to, at least posting and all that crap. So there you go. Share the stream and let people know that we are live. And yes, I am Bidening. Yes, that's, oh boy. Yes, I am Bidening. So let's get it started. Let's say hi and get it going because I got a bunch of articles open, but I'm not going to get to them. But I do want to talk about the reaction to the immunity decision by the Supreme Court of the United States, because some people seem to think that it's just a blanket immunity no matter what the president does. And we read that, or at least saw part of it, and that wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. But they seem to think that, and plus the president came out and did a primetime address last night. And I'm like, one of the poignant things that I saw, someone wrote, they said, think about how remarkable this is. A president delivering a televised primetime statement criticizing the highest court in the nation for not rubber stamping his DOJ prosecution of his political opponent. And that's basically what he did. And also, it was not that long ago when the president of the United States, what were the words he used? Someone had his exact words here. Here, hang on. It's right up here. Let's see. It was in the... Nope, that's not it. It was like the third comment on this tweet. Just in May, in May of this year, these words came out of President Joseph Raheem Biden's mouth. Quote, "The justice system should be respected. I know, and we should never allow anyone to tear it down. It's as simple as that. That's America. That's who we are." Now, that obviously was in reference to Donald Trump getting convicted in New York and all these stupid cases against Donald Trump. And now the justice system apparently should not be respected. Make up your gosh, dang, blasted, flippin', blah, 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 blah mind. You know the thing. So anyway, let's say hi and get started. So first in the chat on Rumble, Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell because you were first. Thank you, sir. And a lot of extracurricular activities. I am Bidening right now. Holy shit. Anyway, also good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, and Phantom Dogfight, the greatest name in the history of the internet. There you go. On YouTube, first in chat, is our good friend. Wait a minute. I thought it was, oh, it's Aaron Meredith. What? 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 Aaron Meredith. Way to go. You're first. Also, good morning, Avocados Dabbling. As I've already said. Also, Somnambule Nation, Mike Savage, Blarg. Darren Roots in the house. Nice to see you. Bookworm Addict, hello. Good morning also to, I'm scrolling and finding names, but you guys have been talking a lot. Willie won't. I won't say it. Willie's in the house. How you doing, Willie? Roasted Opinions, nice to see you back. It's been a while, but you know what? I know people's schedules aren't always conducive to watching this shit. Attack Alpacas here. Anon 1 2 3 is here. Good morning. Jimmy Das Hotep Nation. I did say Attack Alpaca. Also, good morning, Lord Stanhope. What's up? Good morning, JMK. Nice to see you. Patio Furniture. Rick Ashbringer, number 1, is here. Good morning. And Simon Wilkins. And I'm kind of I think that's about everybody. If I missed you, I'll try to catch up. All right. Since we're limited on time today, thanks to my updating my driver, and I hopefully this will solve a lot of problems. Now, I just noticed that my computer's refreshing amazingly fast now, so that may solve the problem. That might have been it. So we'll see. Anyway, let's get into some things that are trending real quick, and we'll kind of just fly through these as soon as I get. Hang on, I gotta have. Where's Ace? There's Ace. There we go. All right, that's fixed. All right, let's start with Hurricane Beryl. How do you pronounce? Well, you can't really tell me how to pronounce it because I'm on the internet. And you're not in my ear. Anyway, Hurricane Beryl has made a major landfall in. Where is this? Well, here it is. Breaking. Hurricane Beryl upgraded to Cat 5 with winds over 165 miles an hour. Damn! That was 9 hours ago. It's already hit. Major landfall imminent. And this guy said, I tried to sound the alarm about this early, and many laughed at me. Community Notes said there's no evidence that Hurricane Beryl will make landfall as a Category 5. Apparently it did. I don't know if this is footage, though. Is this just like example of footage? Because it said what will make landfall. So as I scroll through the Beryl stuff, yes, Union Island, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines after Hurricane Beryl hit, quite a lot of devastation there. And it's, I guess it headed towards Jamaica this morning. And so, if you're in the Caribbean, I don't even know what kind of cover you take for a hurricane, but be safe out there. Find some kind of shelter that'll take care of you and whatnot. So anyway, Carriacou Island, Grenada during the Hurricane Beryl yesterday. Okay, that was footage. This is actual footage during that hurricane. So there's a tab there open that'll put the links that'll show you some of the action and destruction or whatever if you're into that. Also today, we celebrate 60 years ago today, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was signed into law. The law gave the federal government a new role in desegregating schools and other public facilities. Now, and it's interesting because there are some people now who say that desegregation of schools was not a good thing. But the fact that and also it hurt, I would say it hurt a lot of black businesses. Remember Donald Trump's, the scary words that came out of his mouth during this last debate were black jobs. And sometimes when you made it so everyone could go everywhere, you destroy some businesses. I don't know. But the act itself was very important to America, allowing all Americans to have civil rights. And so, yeah, we absolutely celebrate the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Tammy Duckworth, the Congresswoman, I don't know if she's still in Congress or not. Senator. I'm sorry, Senator I met from wherever she's from. 60 years ago, the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 was signed into law, enshrining the ideal that no one could be discriminated against because of who they are. Well, race, sex, etc. Today, let's remember we must keep working to build that more perfect union where all of us are treated equally. So, it's a testament to countless Americans who worked for change. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 signed into law 60 years ago today, and its segregations of public facilities, addressed employment discrimination, and made progress on voting rights for African Americans, which we very fully exercise our rights to vote as African Americans now. And I don't know, people always say, oh, they're trying to take away our right to vote. I don't think that's the truth. I think what they want to do, though, is make sure that people who are voting are eligible to vote in this country, and most black people are. And guess what? The ID thing, we all have IDs. Shut the fuck up. You can't live in America without an ID because it's whatever. And look, I'm curious. I'm really curious. They always try to say, oh, yeah, the voter ID laws, that makes it hard for black people to vote. And because black people are too stupid to get IDs. No, that's basically what they're saying. I'm also curious about this. Do I want someone who can't figure out how to get an ID over 4 years? Because remember, they don't really give a shit about your local state election, right? Because a lot of people don't even vote in those elections. So they don't care about that. They don't care about you voting in the mayor's race. They want everyone to vote in presidential elections because people vote in the years that the president is also being elected. And so really they're saying, oh, we want everyone who's not dumb enough to get it or too stupid to get an ID within 4 years. We want everybody to vote, even if they're too dumb to get an ID, when they got 4 years to do it every time there's a new presidential election. I never understood that whole thing. Anyway. Oh, Tammy Duckworth, thank you, Avocados Dialby. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day with that first donation of a small bullet, aka 223, who says, Tammy Duckworth, she is from Illinois, and I don't know if she's in Congress, but I do know she doesn't have legs. That is correct. She's a senator. I didn't know she's a senator from Illinois, though. Why did I think she was from somewhere in the Southeast? You wouldn't know the answer to that anyway. All right. So anyway, we are celebrating the signing of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And there's funny because there's a lot of people who are saying they're trying to repeal the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Bullshit. Oh, by the way, here's American First Legal put up a post. Now that's the white people's legal post. Okay. They said the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination on the basis of race and sex. Yet major corporations across the country think they're above the law and have implemented illegal DEI quotas and discriminatory hiring practices. We must demolish DEI. Well, that's interesting. That too. Yeah. I'm not against that necessarily. Good morning, Unacceptable Views. Good morning, also Found is in the house. Nice to have you back. And who else is here? Who else? Someone else. I saw another name that I hadn't seen yet. Maddie's in the house. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, Maddie. All right. Vivek Ramaswamy. Today marks the 59th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act. Wait a minute. 59th? Oh, that was last year. Never mind. I don't need to read that. All right. Well, let's move on because that's enough about that one. I got to get through this quickly. And oh, by the way, there is a did I just freeze? Okay, it's working. I just noticed that I do also have this little, what do they call it? Grok, the AI on X update. President Johnson signs the landmark Civil Rights Act. Then it says, on July 2nd, 1964, wow, that's like 3 months after I was born? April, May, June, July. Yeah, May, June, July. May, June, July. Yeah, anyway, I was 3 months old. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act into law, marking a significant milestone in American history. The act outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin, addressing issues such as segregation in public spaces, employment discrimination, and voting rights for African Americans. The legislation, inspired by the civil rights movement and leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., has been celebrated as a landmark achievement in the pursuit of civil rights and equality. However, it is noted that despite its impact, the fight for full realization of its promises continues with ongoing challenges in an effort to protect and advance civil rights in the United States. Now, I don't agree with that. The last part, okay, everything else is fine. It's not that I don't think that people's civil rights are generally disregarded in this country. Okay. Now, is everybody equal as far as economically and all this other stuff? No, because nobody's equal anyway. But, yes, there is still progress to be made in certain areas and communities, whatever. But I don't think it's because there's legal discrimination or illegal discrimination, excuse me. Well, either one. I don't think it's because of that. I think, it's over time, you have attitudes and different traditions in different areas and different communities and whatever. And it just depends on how you break through those sometimes debilitating traditions that how you can grow as in your individual aspect. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. In the words of Forrest Gump, and I am channeling Forrest Gump today in some ways. Thank you, Cryptic, with a big bull in the tip jar of 556, and that makes you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Cryptic says, by the way, hello, Cryptic. Nice to see you. Also, Sydney Oberk and Woodcutter in the house. Cryptic says, she's a quack. Oh, you're referring to Tammy Duckworth. Yeah, yeah, I gotcha. She's a quack. I see what you did there. Also, thank you, Avocados Diablo, dropping another 223 in the tip jar. Who says, for fuck's sake, man, you read it wrong. You really are Bidening. Even with this, your version of a teleprompter, you are just making a mess out of it. P-Dog for President 2024. Well, I can get on that board with that. Yeah, baby. Wait a minute. Wait, what? What did you just say? Holy shit. I don't think that was a compliment. Thanks, AD. Gotcha. All right, moving on. Also, Asheville is trending. Asheville, North Carolina. Apparently, there was some uproar at some library event where some elderly Jewish Americans were subjected to a horrific assault in a library. A group of Jews reading books in a library in Asheville, North Carolina, were attacked by mass pro-Palestinian activists. The elderly Jewish group were punched and assaulted while their attackers screaming that they don't give a fuck about your age and blaming them for the situation in Gaza. And you can't really see what's going on in these videos, and I don't care to, honestly. Why are they attacking these old people who have nothing to do with it? I don't understand it. I hope they get charged with whatever they need to be charged with, assault or whatever, get caught. But it's on video, but they're wearing masks, so it's difficult to identify them. Also in the news, Trump in the latest polls, apparently, Donald John Trump has edged ahead of Biden in a series of recent polls, including the USA Today, Suffolk University poll, and a general election poll. Donald Trump has gained a slight lead over Joe Biden. The polls show Trump with 41% of support compared to Biden's 38%, with other candidates like RFK Jr. and Jill Stein trailing significantly. Trump is also leading in swing states such as Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada. Despite these numbers, there's a notable percentage of undecided voters, and opinions vary on the impact of the recent debate on the candidate standings. So anyway, general election poll has these polls mean jack to me. Good morning, Cannon Hotep. What's up, my friend? These polls don't mean a lot to me right now. But the polls just regarding that debate were pretty lopsided. And it's interesting because this is just a general election poll, meaning Trump is leading in a popular vote type of way. I'm not sure I believe that, because New York and California are awfully big places. But could he be narrowing the gap so much in those places that the overall vote, he could also get the damn popular vote too? If Biden stays in and Biden's family is advising him to stay in and Biden's listening to them, holy shit. Good morning, Cannibalistic Wizard also. And Renee Mayette, how you doing? So independents have seen enough. I'd assume the left is going to vote for the left. The right will vote for the right, etc. Yeah, I think, how could you hold your nose and vote for Joe Biden knowing that he's not in charge? Really, if you vote for Biden, you're voting for some advisors that are just writing teleprompter scripts for him. That's what I think. And in fact, we'll show you an example of that in a minute. So anyway, Trump now leading Biden in New Hampshire. In New Hampshire, he's leading Biden in New Hampshire too. New poll, Trump leading in New Hampshire. That's crazy, because he hadn't been winning there in a while. Poly market presidential election winner, 66% new. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the poly market is. Is that one of those betting markets? So anyway, again, it's early, but it's interesting. Will it last? I'll tell you in a minute. If a certain interview that's coming up, will that change things? Okay. Speaking of which, this is the interview I was about to talk about. Also trending, Stormy Daniels breaks her silence. Now, first of all, I didn't know she was silent. In fact, she won't shut the fuck up. But Rachel Maddow is going to spend 2 hours with Stormy Daniels live interview on MSNBC. 2 hours. Now, this is amazing. This is amazing. Rachel Maddow is set to conduct a 2-hour special interview with Stormy Daniels. What the fuck could Stormy Daniels talk about for 2 hours? And what do you think the purpose of this is? There is only one purpose. Well, ratings for one, because all the lefties will tune in. And here's how MSNBC promotes it. MSNBC exclusive. Rachel Maddow talks exclusively with Stormy Daniels. It's her first U.S. TV interview since testifying against Donald Trump. Watch the 2-hour special edition of The Rachel Maddow Show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern on MSNBC. Now, could you imagine spending 2 hours with Stormy Daniels? Oh, I'm sorry. Can you imagine spending 2 hours with Stormy Daniels? No! Hello, Mrs. Hayes. How you doing? Exclusively on Pornhub. That's funny. That was Mrs. Hayes' joke, but I just stole it. Good morning to my friend, the greatest Canadian I know. Jaeger Ponies in the house. Much better than Trudeau. So yeah, Rachel Maddow announced a 2-hour special interview with Stormy Daniels. You gotta be kidding me. Here's Rachel Maddow. Apparently previewing her talk with Stormy Daniels. Let's see how this goes. I gotta see this. There's only one purpose of this. And you know what? And here's the other part. Are you going to get any new information out of this? Well, she might get a even more graphic description of Donald Trump's penis. What's the point of this? Here we go.
I'm going to be back here tomorrow at this time.
Oh, look at the excitement in her face. Look how excited she is. 5
nights a week, but
oh my, she is so fucking excited. It's amazing.
here right now. I'm going to be
Oh,
here
my
tomorrow
favorite.
at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I hope you will come back and watch. 9 p.m. Eastern, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, I am doing a special. It is an interview.
Oh my God, it's an interview. Whoa, I can't, what?
Woman who is the subject of that ongoing lie from Donald Trump.
Ongoing lie?
Of the criminal case against him, which resulted.
Whoa. What lie is she talking about that Stormy Daniels has anything to do with? What does Stormy Daniels have to do with anything to do with any lie that, oh my God.
Review. With the woman who is the subject of that ongoing lie from Donald Trump. She was the center of the criminal case against him, which resulted in his 34 felony convictions, and that will occasion his potential prison sentence next week.
Oh, you wish it was a prison sentence. You are just salivating that it might be a prison sentence. Oh, you mean the one that's not going to survive the appeal?
Was subpoenaed by the prosecution and
subpoenaed? You almost slipped there, Rachel. You know you don't like any of that.
Served as.
By the way, I'm wondering, will she ask Stormy if she does any girl action in those movies? She's excited. I mean, look, she's just wet from the idea that she's going to interview Stormy Daniels. But hey, could you get some bonus plan in there? I don't know.
The central witness in the prosecution's case. I have wanted to interview her for a very long time.
I bet you have.
Her testimony in the trial was legitimately shocking.
No, it wasn't. It was not
shocking. She would like to elaborate.
What was shocking about it is that the judge allowed it to be even in the trial because most of us was irrelevant to the charges. That's nonsense.
Right on that testimony. And so my interview with her is finally.
Yeah, Cannon. I wonder if she'll ask if she's ever going to pay Donald Trump the money she owes him.
Happening.
Hello, don't hack me, bro. What's up? How you doing?
Night, right here, 9 p.m. Eastern, is Stormy Daniels.
Oh,
this will be her
this
first
will
U.S.
be
interview
riveting
since the guilty on all counts verdict in the case involved.
And it's funny because it's not about anything he did with her that he was guilty about. And also, she lied her ass off. She's told so many different stories about this. It's amazing. Anyway, all right, enough about. Wait, let me see if Rachel drops any bombs here.
Involving Trump's payment to her to keep her from speaking out about her experience. And
now she owes him $500,000.
Again, her testimony at that criminal trial was crucial to his conviction.
No, it wasn't. No. Oh my God. Her testimony was not crucial to his conviction. She's hyping this because all this is a chance for Rachel to ask salacious questions and get some, get some, nasty little details about what happened, and it has nothing to do with her conviction. Her testimony was completely irrelevant to the conviction. Okay? It could have been a non-disclosure agreement for cheating in checkers for whatever. It doesn't matter what the acts are, the non-disclosure agreement. That wasn't why the reason for the non-disclosure agreement had nothing to do with the conviction. Oh my God, this is amazing. Hello, Furry Kitten too. I see you there. All right.
It was legitimately shocking testimony.
Shocking.
She would like to elaborate on that testimony.
Oh, she wants to elaborate. She wants to tell you how far she was bent over. And then she wants to tell you when she went missionary. And then she did one of those side leg over here and other arm over there things. Yeah, that's important. Let's get some more details of this, of the irrelevant testimony that you gave.
We will do so here, 9 p.m. tomorrow night.
Will there be demonstrations?
We'll talk about what's happened since the case.
Of course you can't because you don't have a opinion. Maybe you could throw a strap on it. I don't know. What's the point of this? It's all about attempting to embarrass Donald Trump, who I don't know if it's possible to embarrass Donald Trump anymore. I think he's, they've thrown enough spaghetti and dirt and shit and, wax and whatever against the wall, and none of it stuck and none of it has bothered him. He just keeps trucking along. All you're doing is making it more popular.
We'll talk about what's happened to her because of her role in that case. We'll talk about what it means for...
How do you feel? That's going to be one of the questions. How do you feel? Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm done with her. Enough of that shit. That's amazing. Real quick. Thank you, Cryptic. Speaking of Stormy Daniels, Cryptic says, okay, let's see here. Let's see. Cryptic says, dropping a $9.99, and one of my favorite alerts, I'm going to play the alert again because it's just, I've always wondered how the shake weights work. And does that really do, does the shake weight do anything for you there? I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, Cryptic says, Stormy Daniels took a lot of dick during her porn career. 2 hours moving her mouth is nothing for her. At least her legs are closed this time. Yes, exactly. Stormy Daniels.
Your life makes me sad.
Okay, moving on. Thank you, Cryptic. Appreciate that. Other things. I'm not getting this trending stuff very fast. It always, look, sometimes you just have to rant about some shit. And 2 hours. 2 hours with Stormy Daniels. Ew. And someone's mentioned the smell. Oh boy. By the way, I said somebody up there in the chat, as I scrolled up, I can't find it. Someone said that Rachel Maddow looks a little bit too much like the Queer Kid Stuff chick. By the way, Queer Kid Stuff is supposedly back. That whatever that weirdo's name is, she's crowdfunding for more episodes of Queer Kid Stuff, which I think she should be arrested. But anyway, I don't need to, you don't need to be talking to preschoolers about, queer shit. Anyway, all right. So also trending, Watergate's trending, and this has to do with the Supreme Court decision. Some people are saying, well, the Supreme Court's decision would have made Watergate legal. You motherfuckers don't even know what Watergate is if you think that would have made Watergate legal. You dumb shits. President Nixon was not involved in Watergate, you morons. Anyway, but also it mentions that Hillary Clinton was fired during the Watergate investigation by lifelong Democrat Jeffrey Zelfman. The reason was because she was a liar. Someone who can't spell here. She was an unethical, dishonest lawyer. She conspired to violate the Constitution, the rules of the House, the rules of the committee, and the rules of confidentiality. And here it is. As 27-year-old staff attorney for the House Judiciary Committee during Watergate investigation, Hillary Rodham was fired by her supervisor, lifelong Democrat Jerry Ziefman. When asked why Hillary Rodham was fired, Ziefman said in an interview, because she is a liar, she is an unethical, dishonest lawyer, she conspired to violate the Constitution, the rules of the House, and the rules of the committee, and the rules of confidentiality, which is exactly what the tweet says. How many of you remembered that? Well, you wouldn't remember it necessarily, but because I don't remember it because I was only like 7 years old, but I've read about it many times. Also, what else why is it trending? Oh, because they dug up the corpse of Carl Bernstein, who's actually still alive, but he might as well be. And this is he was one of the reporters. Bernstein. What's the other one? What's the other guy's name? Bernstein and anyway, he's one of the Watergate guys who broke Watergate, right? And he's on CNN yesterday, and this is somewhat related to what we're going with the debate from a couple days ago. And he's saying that he's known that that Biden had some issues before. But let's see. I'm gonna just play this.
Journalist. So, Carl, according to the people you've been talking to, what are you hearing?
Well, these are people, several of them, who are very close to President Biden, who love him, have supported
Woodward,
him.
Bernstein and Woodward.
Among them are some people who've raised a lot
Not
of
Robert Redford. Woodward and Bernstein.
money for him. And they are adamant that what we saw the other night, the Joe Biden we saw, is not a one-off. That they're
Oh, wait a minute. their insiders are saying that Joe Biden is like this more than just in that debate. He's a little bit forgetful. Is that what they're saying?
There have been 15, 20 occasions in the last year and a half.
15 or 20?
The president has appeared somewhat as he did in that horror show. That
15 or 20?
There's
all kinds of video
that this is coming from, and also how many people around the president are aware of such incidents, including some reporters.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, Carl Bernstein's not doing his job right now. Carl Bernstein is somebody protect Carl Bernstein because he's telling the truth about the emperor with no clothes. I mean, this whole thing with Joe Biden is the emperor has no clothes. It's almost like that. I got to show you another little clip too in a second here.
Who have witnessed some of them. But here we see tonight, as these people say, President Biden at his absolute best.
What?
And yet, these people who have supported...
Are they talking about what he's reading off a teleprompter? Oh, because he addressed the nation. I'll get to that in a minute.
...him, loved him, campaigned for him, see him often, say that in the last 6 months particularly, there has been a marked incidence of cognitive decline.
In the last 6 months, we've been seeing it for 2 years, but it's definitely getting worse. I don't disagree with Bernstein here. It's definitely getting worse.
And physical infirmity.
What I wonder about is the people who were, working with him at Camp David.
Now remember, by the way, this debate that Joe Biden and Donald Trump just had, remember, Joe Biden spent a week, an entire week at Camp David preparing for this debate. And that's what we got. Prepared for a week. And that's what we got.
Originally in this intensive debate prep, if there were concerns there about this, and I don't know if you have got any word about that, but how anybody involved in that debate prep, I mean, didn't anybody see?
Did anybody tell the emperor he had no clothes?
Supervised by Ron Klain, who has been with President Biden for many years.
Ron Klain's a shithead.
People I've talked to have all been to Ron Klain in the last year to say, we have a problem. We have a problem such as we...
The last year? People have been saying this? And he still decided to run again?
Saw the other night.
Really?
There have been numerous instances where the president has lost his train of thought.
They've known it for a year.
Can't pick it up again. There was a fundraiser at which he started at the podium, and then he became very stiff, according to the people there.
Oh, no one's noticed that either. Hello, TC. What's up? Nice to see you. And Bishop over on Rumble.
This was June of, this was a year ago almost exactly.
All right, look, I'm not going to play this whole thing, but they've known. They all know it, but they insist on pretending that it's not happening. And I'm going to show you something here. This is funny because I hope I bookmarked it. Did I bookmark this? Please tell me I bookmarked this. I got a little video for you. Yes, I did. All right, here we go. This is one that you got to see, and I'll put this in the links too. There we go. Gosh, everything's working better since I did that update. I'm really happy about this. All right, here we go. Now this, I almost hate to play the whole thing.
Intellectually.
Hang on. Because the White House had put out a talking point at some point. Stating that the president is sharp as a tack. As sharp as a tack. Okay? Here we go.
This version of Biden, intellectually,
by the way,
analytically,
the media all picked up on it.
Is the best Biden ever.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
Sharp.
For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America.
This is a man who is sharp, who is on top of his game, who knows what's going on.
He's smart. He's on his game.
His mental acuity is great.
This is a very sharp president.
And the people that I've talked to say he's as sharp as a tack. He's fine.
They say he's sharp.
There's not a problem.
He was sharp. He was sharper than anyone I've spoken to.
The president is sharp and he is tireless. He is sharp.
As sharp as ever.
And he's sharp. He's fine. All this right-wing propaganda that his mental acuity is
T2.
I'll
be back. His brain is good. He's still great.
He is sharp in meetings.
I believe that people say that behind closed doors, Joe Biden remains sharp.
In meetings, Joe Biden is sharp.
He's sharp. He's fit. There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp. He's sharp as a tack.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with.
Oh my!
Look, if we finally beat Medicare,
Somnambule Nation, sharp like an egg. More like sharp like an egg yolk. Okay.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Thank you, Avocados Diabli, with another small bullet in the tip jar. I appreciate you, sir. Joe Biden. Oh, quote. I'm quoting Avocados Diabli. Joe Biden, tarp as a shack. Exactly. That's perfectly correct. That's perfectly right. All right. Now, this. As tempted as I am to play this whole thing, 6 minutes and 23 seconds of different people saying that Joe Biden is sharp as a tack, sharp. And then numerous examples of Joe Biden being Joe Biden. Okay, I if you want to watch it, I have a separate tab for it in the links today. All right, moving on. Sharp as a bowling ball. Yes, exactly. In fact, here's what we'll do. In the chat, give me examples of things that Joe Biden is as sharp as. I'll start. Sharp as a marble. Matt Fields, what's up? Welcome back. Nice to have you here again. All right, moving on. Also, by the way, someone named Tim Ryan is trending, and I got to be honest with you. This is funny. Tim Ryan apparently is a writer for Newsweek, and his skepticism of the abilities of Joseph Rahim Biden are being fully featured in Newsweek in an article published yesterday, July 1st, 2024, in which Tim Ryan says, quote, as the headline of this article reads, Kamala Harris should be the Democratic nominee for president in 2024. Yeah! Oh, my.
Resist. We must.
Oh, my gosh.
Do you love white people?
Whoa. Now the Tim Ryan, he says, apparently he's a politician. I forgot who he was a politician. But who could replace Joe Biden? 9 potential candidates. Okay, here it is. I ran for president in 2020. I was the first presidential candidate to endorse Joe Biden in 2020. I love America. I love our party. I love Joe Biden. Well, isn't that special? But the Democratic nominee in 2024 should be Kamala Harris. Or Kamala, for those of you who remember the Ugandan giant. Joe Biden's debate performance was deeply troubling, but it isn't just about a 90-minute debate and a terrible performance. This election needs to be about generational change, something about which I have been shouting for more than a year now. Oh, for an entire year? My gosh, Mr. Ryan, I am so proud of you. You've been sustained your argument for a year. Fan-fucking-tastic. I supported Joe because I believed he is a good and honorable man. Jury's out on that one. I am still very happy with my decision. He is the most pro-union, pro-manufacturing president in my lifetime. Really? How so? Pro-manufacturing? How so? What does that mean? What does that mean? Anyway. He understands the working class people, regardless of race or gender, and yet they're all supporting Trump. Isn't that weird? that I represented in my Northeast Ohio congressional district for 20 years. That's right. He was a senator. Wasn't he a senator? Congressman? I don't know. He was a congressman. Anyway, he also promised to be a bridge to the next generation. I like that idea. I envision him defeating former President Donald Trump, stabilizing the country, and passing the torch to the next generation. Regrettably, that bridge collapsed last week. Witnessing Joe Biden's struggle was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Oh, heartbreaking. And we must forge a new path forward. Now, why does he think Kamala Harris... why does he think she should be the president or running for president? After deep reflection over these past few days, I strongly believe that our best path forward is Kamala Harris. He thinks that Kamala is going to get the black vote. I don't know that black people like Kamala Harris. She's not, because as I said yesterday, she's not really black. Like, people might say I'm not really black too, but she's not. I mean, she's not, because when you think, at least to call someone a black person, they should have at least some generational history of black people in America, right? And she doesn't. Her parents immigrated here. She was born here and shit. But her mom's from India and her dad's from Jamaica, so they're not really black Americans. And then, please don't ever do that again. I don't know what that means. And then she grew up in Toronto. She didn't grow up in the United States, really. Most of her formative years were in Toronto, and she was around, and she was brought up from the Indian side of her family. You know what I mean? So every time she gets into office, she's always the first Indian, this and that, the first Indian, this and that. And then suddenly, when she becomes vice president, all the black women are gonna claim her because she went to Howard University and I think she's what is it? What's the sorority? AKA Alpha Kappa Alpha. She's a sorority girl, But anyway, that explains that. By the way, thank you, Matt Fields, dropping a deuce in the tip jar over on YouTube Super Chat, saying sharp as Jupiter. Yes, sharp. Oh, I'm gonna have to scroll to these sharp things now. Anyway, so Tim Ryan continues. Thank you again, Matt Fields. Kamala was the highlight of a historically dreadful night. Across cable news stations, the vice president's performance was stellar, a ray of light in the darkness. How so? Are you serious? Those who questioned her chops over the past several years were rebuked by a polished, confident leader communicating clearly in the throes of a political meltdown of epic proportions. I loved watching it. Our vice president was masterful. During the 2020 presidential race, our paths crossed many times. She's a joy to hang out with. She is brilliant, compassionate, engaging, funny, down to earth. My wife and our young son loved her. That doesn't make me want to vote for her for anything. But the fact that she is cool. Oh, she tries to be cool. She drops that. She does that code switching thing on a dime, even though it doesn't sound very realistic. If you don't know what code switching is, ask your favorite black person. And if I'm your favorite black person, you can ask me later. Anyway, she did some code switching, and it's cringy as fuck. Anyway, but the fact that she is cool, isn't a reason enough to be her to be our nominee. Kamala should be the next Democratic nominee because she can energize the electorate and govern effectively as our next president. How? She has a 12% approval rating. What are you talking about? Oh God, this goes on and on and on. Anyway, I don't even want to go through any more of that, but I think Mr. Ryan is trending because people are ridiculing the fuck out of him. Let's find out. Let's find out. Tim Ryan. Okay. The very first comment under this is Tim Ryan admitting he's on crack wasn't on my 2024 bingo card, yet here we are. Tim Ryan gave up a winnable House seat to run for the Senate race he couldn't win. Instead of blaming his own incompetence, he blames Biden for canceling student debt. Okay, that has nothing to do with it. Oh man, Tim Ryan was very shook at the end, really was they were talking about his debate performances. So now you're getting a lot of Tim Ryan quotes, but the fact that he thinks he thinks Kamala should be the nominee, That's amazing. All right, real quick. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. Another small bullet in the tip jar who says it's pronounced Kamala. Oh, now that... Wow, I can't believe that I didn't think of that. That makes sense. It would make for a great Pictionary word, though playing it in a Muslim country might be something you may want to give some second thought to. You know, because reasons. Come Allah. Oh, come Allah. Oh, that's even more disturbing. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. That's very good. That was funny, man. All right, now let's get to the main topic. I only got about 10 minutes, so let's do it. Obviously, we talked about the Supreme Court ruling yesterday, and the summary from. Let's see how the Grok summarizes it, of how people are talking about it, because some of the hot takes are amazing. It's amazing. Okay, here it is. Supreme Court grants Trump presidential immunity. I did listen. I didn't read it. I listened to someone read it because I don't have time to just read it. But it's like I did the audiobook of the ruling, right? And they didn't necessarily grant Trump immunity. And that's the big problem with this, how people are treating this Supreme Court decision. Okay? The people who hate it, and even some of the people who love it, are treating this as though this was done specifically for Donald Trump. That the court acquiesced to Donald Trump, or the court did something for Donald Trump. The judges who are conservative did it for Donald Trump. No. And in fact, if you read the ruling, it's not about Donald Trump. It's about all presidents and whether or not you can prosecute them for things that are part of their job as the president of the United States. And so, but some of the examples people are coming up with, oh, this is legal now. This guy could do this. This guy could do that. Are false, because there are laws that say you can't do those things versus who enforces them, or things that are not part of the job of the president of the United States. You're not immune from all prosecution of things you did while the president if it had nothing to do with being the president. If in the middle of the night you sneak out of the White House, run over to Mitch McConnell's apartment with a gun and shoot him in the head, you will be prosecuted for that, because that's not the job of the president of the United States. I know some of you wish it was, but it's not. So anyway, here's the Grok summary. Supreme Court of the United States has issued a controversial ruling granting former President Donald Trump immunity from prosecution for official acts. No, all presidents. It should be obvious that presidents should be immune from prosecution for official acts. During his presidency, sparking widespread criticism and calls for impeachment of certain judges by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the ruling has been perceived as undermining democratic principles and presidential accountability. Now, this is leaning on the lefties' version of this, okay? Because again, it's just AI compiling what people are saying, and the lefties are bitching like a motherfucker about this. Leading to Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez announcing her intention to file articles of impeachment against Supreme Justices of the Supreme Court. The decision has reignited discussions about the court's impartiality and needs for reforms. President Joe Biden criticized the ruling, stating it sets a precedent by potentially allowing the president's power to go unchecked by the law. That is incorrect. Remember, the Constitution, these are separate branches of government. If you can't, anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. So some of the hot takes from the beginning, and I want to skip Judd Legum or whatever that is. He's a lefty, because most of this stuff is people bitching about it. But the headline at Huffington Post takes the cake. The Supreme Court gives Joe Biden the legal okay to assassinate Donald Trump. really. In fact, I'm gonna let's just read a couple lines from this. Something is wrong when dissenting judges warn that the majority may have legalized murder by one individual, said legal expert Norm Eisen. Well, Norm Eisen, you've been wrong in a lot of shit. But that's absurd. That is absurd. That's not. And in fact, if you go through the whole decision, which again, I got the audiobook version of it. I'm not going to get to the sharp as a things right now. It's an absurd statement because that would not be an official act of the President of the United States to assassinate somebody. Not a former president, not now, maybe we're getting into some areas where the United States has done some assassinations of terrorist leaders, for example. So and I want to go back to the Fast and Furious thing because these people really don't pay attention to the ruling. What they have taken away, maybe, is the ability to prosecute Barack Obama for Fast and Furious. Because if the court would have ruled that there is no immunity, then you could prosecute Barack Obama for the Fast and Furious, selling guns to Mexican cartels that end up murdering some American border agents, or for droning that American citizen, or George Bush for, any sorts of things related to the Iraq War with the lying and whatever that they say, people say they're lies, right? This is insane that they would have a headline like this. And it's insane in the dissenting opinion because in the majority opinion, it said official acts, some limited of, peripheral official acts, but does not have immunity, does not have total immunity. This was not a complete immunity decision. It was a qualified immunity decision. So again, as you scroll through some of the people talking about this, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her comment was, the Supreme Court has become consumed by the corruption crisis beyond its control. Today's ruling represents an assault on American democracy. No, it does not. It's up to Congress to defend our nation from this authoritarian capture. I intend on filing articles of impeachment upon our return. Okay, what are you talking about? And someone said, hey, can you please do a rally for Cori Bush like you did for Jamal Bowman? Now that's funny. Anyway, John Solomon's Supreme Court immunity ruling could likely delay or undermine prosecution of other Trump cases. It certainly could. Al Jazeera, U.S. President Joe Biden. Oh, here, let's go watch Biden's speech. Let's find Biden's speech here because this is going to be certainly a fantastic example of is this only 13 seconds? Oh, by the way, during his speech, he again read as he's reading his teleprompter, said the words "end of quote," which is hilarious. All right. And also, the other one they said that they could do that Joe Biden could do an executive order banning felons for running for president of the United States. And here's a bunch of people saying that bullshit. So, and this must be the talking point of the day. But the discussion centers around the suggestion that President Biden should issue an executive order to prohibit convicted felons from running for president. This proposal comes in response to a Supreme Court decision that some interpret as granting presidents immunity from certain criminal prosecutions. Supporters argue that such an order would uphold the integrity of presidential candidates by preventing individuals with criminal records from holding the highest office in the country. Critics express concerns about the potential misuse of presidential powers and the implication for the democratic process. No, That does not give the president the power to that, because that's part of the Constitution. The qualifications for president of the United States are written in the Constitution. So no, he cannot make an executive order to change the Constitution. You can't change the Constitution by executive order. But it is the talking point from all the fucking paid shill assholes that constantly tweet on X. Brian Karam. So Biden can now issue an executive order that prohibits convicted felons from running for president. Brooklyn Dad defiant. President Dark Brandon should make it illegal for convicted felons to run for president. Ali Samario. Joe Biden should issue an executive order barring people who can't pass security clearances for running for president. Amy Vanderpool. As an official act, Biden should issue an executive order that prohibits convicted felons from running for president. Over and over and over. All these fuckers got the same fucking talking point, like they always do. They should be embarrassed. All right, real quick. Thank you, Avocados Diablo, dropping another small bullet in the tip jar. Says people are forgetting illegal orders are still a thing. There are still laws governing what a president can and cannot do. This just means that the courts will have to do a little more work and make sure the allegations fall within what is or is not allowed. You are a super, super great American. Exactly, motherfucker. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. Yeah, it's insane, some of these takes. So anyway, Joe Biden decided that he was going to address this. Where's the speech? How long is it? He got on his teleprompter and end of quote. That's so funny. It's so funny that he does that. Well, here's the end of quote. Here's Joe Biden giving this speech last night. Uh-oh, there we go. It's still working. Oh my God. Okay, they put a fact check on it. Let's play the clip first, because they say this is misleading. Somebody put apparently all the, oh, by the way, now on community notes, so this community notes is where people get together and they all say this is incorrect because this, and this. And then the community notes will put a community note under things as kind of a fact check, like a self-governing fact check on X. Well, apparently a lot of the lefties have gotten together and joined community notes just so they could community note some of these things and save Joe Biden. Here's the clip.
I concur with Justice Sotomayor's dissent today. Here's what she said. She said, in every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law.
Not true. Not
true.
True.
Fear for our democracy, I dissent. End of quote. I concur with Justice Sotomayor's dissent today.
Let's read the community note on this right here, because leading report, breaking, Biden reads end of quote during speech. The readers added context that they thought people might want to know. While the caption is factually correct, it attempts to mislead the reader into thinking this was an error or inappropriate on the president's part. However, the president was quoting the Supreme Court justice's words to saying end of quote was appropriate. Really? Really? Does that sound like he meant that? Because he didn't.
Justice Sotomayor's dissent today. Here's what she said. She said, in every use
now
of...
Notice. He didn't say, and I quote. So why would he say, end of quote? No, that's not it. And I'd love to read.
Justice Sotomayor's dissent today. Here's what she said. She said, in every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law. With fear for our democracy, I dissent. End of quote. Justice Sotomayor's.
Why? No, because he's done this before, where he's read end of quote when he hasn't said. You know, they put end of quote in parentheses in these speeches. So anyway, he didn't say quote start, so not the end of quote. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, okay, it's canon, buddy. HP is dog shit. Don't know about brother, but probably should too. I don't know what you're talking about there. You guys are talking about something. Oh, you're talking to canon. All right. Anyway, all right now. Shoot, I'm out of time. Man, I don't have time for this speech. So anyway, I got a list of articles here that I have in the hopper today. And obviously I gave you the Supreme Court decision yesterday. Trump wins. Supreme Court says president is covered by immunity for official acts, but again, not unofficial acts or acts that aren't within the job of president. How amazing disgrace, by the way. So that's in Breitbart. And then in the New York Post, Supreme Court's Trump immunity ruling is what the body was designed for. Unpopular, but constitutionally correct, according to Jonathan Turley, the Democrat who usually sides with Republicans on legal matters. And it's not licensed to murder. I'm sorry, it's not. In Breitbart, AOC files articles of impeachment against the SCOTUS. She's looking very special there. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says she plans to file articles of impeachment against unnamed Supreme Court justices following the court's ruling on presidential immunity on Monday. So she's so mad she wants to impeach them. It ain't happening because she's not going to get the votes. The only justice impeached in American history was Justice Samuel Chase in 1805. The Senate acquitted him. Okay, there you go. So she's saying the Supreme Court has been consumed by corruption. Jonathan Turley, again, win for president. It's the Daily Caller summary of the New York Post article. And again, immunity hot take. The D.C. case against Trump is virtually over too. This is, who is this? Is this William Jacobson? Oh, that's a video. He's talking about this. It's a minute. How long is it? Just a minute?
So I'm going to give you the short version of what you need to know about the big Supreme Court decision today granting former President Trump immunity from prosecution. Long story short is most of the DC prosecution has now gone away. The claims against him for interacting with the Department of Justice have absolute immunity. The claims against him for interacting with Vice President Pence have presumptive immunity, means they're likely to go away. And even his speeches and his tweets and other things may or may not have immunity, depending whether the court finds
he's communicating
that they
as
were
the president to
personal,
the American people.
But there's a lot of language in the decision that suggests that these could be subject to immunity. So Jack Smith, for all the hoopla about the case, it's probably mostly over. That doesn't mean they won't keep trying to fight it, but based on this decision, the DC case is virtually over.
All right, so there you go. There's a 1-minute summary by William Jacobson, president of legal insurrection. Left-wingers fantasize about Trump having or Biden having immunity to assassinate Trump. A lot of people made that same claim. Elon missed. Biden has the opportunity to do the funnest thing ever. Now, all these people need a visit from the Secret Service, I think. Supreme Court just gave Biden unequivocal immunity to order the military to take action against Trump. No, because that would be an illegal order. Again, these people are deranged. Anyway, you can read that on your own. Breitbart, Schumer bashes, quote, MAGA SCOTUS, end quote, after historic Trump immunity decision. And I want to go back and watch Biden's primetime address. I haven't seen it yet, but it's him slurring in primetime and sputtering over a teleprompter. And then he immediately left without taking any questions from the press, which is kind of his MO now. Democratic media aren't upset Biden is senile. They're mad that they can't hide it anymore. That's another, that's the truth. They've been hiding it or trying to hide it for a year. Again, it's an emperor has no clothes. It literally, we've all seen it, but some people just don't want to see it. Oh, by the way, for some reason too, last night, Biden was wearing like that same kind of fake tan shit that Donald Trump wears. And so Biden was looking orange last night, but they didn't do a very good job of applying it. It was kind of weird. But also Biden's attempting to reframe the election around January 6th. In a rushed White House speech, President Joe Biden used Monday night White House press conference to attempt to reframe November general election around Donald Trump's alleged action of January 6th. I'll get into that tomorrow because I want to tell you, I'm tired of hearing Biden lie about both January 6th and Charlottesville. Okay, we'll get into that a little bit tomorrow. Other articles, Biden reads teleprompter for 5 minutes, takes no questions in the first major post-debate appearance. And the remarks were, they're only 4 minutes long. I wish I had time. I got to go though. We'll do this one tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it this afternoon. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But if you want to watch these 5-minute comments on the Supreme Court decision, it's in this article. Biden reads teleprompter for 5 minutes, takes no questions in first major post-debate appearance. Also, some people are saying that Jill Biden is the one desperately clinging to power as her husband crumbles before her eyes. Yes, the elder abuse angle. Daily Wire, she likes the feeling of power. Billionaire Dem donor Bill Ackman rips Jill Biden for making Joe stay in the race. Uh-oh. The donors are not happy. What? In Breitbart, Joe Biden launches a public relations campaign to remain the de facto nominee. They're out there trying to keep him in. I don't know. I still don't think he's going to last till the election. I just don't. And it's going to be a shit show when he does finally step out of the canoe. Oh, I shouldn't use that phrase. That's kind of that's a whole different phrase. New York Post ex-White House press secretary Jen Psaki says Biden's bad debate performance was not because AIDS prepped him too hard. What? His bad debate performance was not because of debate prep, despite reported swipes by first family members that top aides worked him too hard. Worked him too hard? All right, that's it. There's several other. There's a lot of articles in the tabs today, but I'm gonna let you look at them yourself. You guys find them, and I'll drop them in the chat and the descriptions on my way out the door here. But I want to thank you guys for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. It's been a gas. Now, before you go, if you haven't done it yet, hit the damn like button. And if you're new here, or you just happen to be stuck here for some reason, and you're not subscribed, well, you're not going to see this thing again on purpose unless you subscribe right now. So do that, and we'll see you next time. I'm here Monday through Friday, a little around 10 Eastern time, usually a little later, but because I get home from work late. But that's it. I gotta go. Thank you for watching. My name is P Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Bye. Hey, this is P Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.